Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Friday, the 10th of July, 2026. Starting off here, looking at the synoptic, we can see some low pressure actually down to the south, and then this high out to the west here in the Atlantic. Interestingly, on our side of the high, we've got some frontal activity stemming from this low in the form of a cold front, so becoming a warm front, but really the cold front being the only thing over mainland UK. That being said, it is the northern tip of Scotland there, and we're not anticipating any problems from that in the next couple, well, certainly today. We have very nice sort of slack isobars here, so light winds, still relatively high pressure, and a very, very good air mass. You get the sat pic, you can see evidence of that front up to the northwest, nothing particularly of concern in our area. That's a bit of high cover dotted about, but nothing greatly concerning. And rain radar showing again along that front a little bit of rain, but nothing in our area or what will be the task area. On that basis, we'll dispense with the rain radar. And Odium TAF hasn't refreshed yet, but their observation 23 minutes ago was showing 100 degrees, 6 knots of wind, Cav OK, with 23 degrees already and 1017 in terms of pressure. So just ever so slightly high pressure there. Farnborough, yeah, also not playing ball. Their observation much the same, with no cloud detected and 23 degrees. Looking at the spot winds to the south, east northeasterly, at 20 knots at flying heights, but then to the north, something slightly more sensible, sort of southeasterly, 5 knots all the way up to 5,000 feet there. So making the cruises hopefully a little bit easier in places. Surface wind on windy here, just showing a gentle easterly flow almost straight down the runway. If anything, maybe 100 degrees is slightly south of easterly. And the local Met Office model giving us around 3 or 4 knots to begin with, peaking around 9 in the mid to late afternoon with potential gusts up to 20. Nothing greatly concerning though with regards to the wind straight down the runway. Reasonable or reducing humidity and very high UV around that midday mark of 8. So if you are flying, do take lots of water and your soaring hats, and if you're on the ground, do take care. GFS, their model giving slightly warmer than the Met Office, only by about a degree or so, potentially up to 32 or even 33 degrees in the warmest parts of the day, with a dew point of 12. Presently, we're at 24.6 degrees locally to Lasham. We made 34 yesterday at 5 p.m. The dew point here of 15, so we are already seeing quite a steep increase in temperature over a short period of time, and we can anticipate that to continue. View on the south side, looking to the west, you can see there's little tiny patches of top cover there, but nothing of any nothing that warrants any concern, certainly, predominantly blue. And sky-side cross-section here actually showing locally relatively blue for us, with these little wisps of high cover, although I'm not especially concerned about those. Looking to be a relatively late start, and a fairly big grid beginning to form already. But the bulk of the soaring to be had around sort of midday onwards. Showing up to blue thermals up to 7,000 or 8,000 feet should we get enough heating. It's probably going to be around 32 degrees for that. And showing on the left-hand side of the screen here the potential flight distance, showing some very good air out to the northwest up towards the north and the Wales there. So looking to be a sort of desirable tasking area. Top Meteo, thermal chart starting from 9 o'clock local. You can see already a couple of sort of blue thermals up to 1,500, 2,000 feet. As we move on by midday locally, we're actually seeing not amazing, maybe up to about 3,000 feet, slightly more but the better weather definitely to the north. We do catch up. This band here of cumulus starting to form over at 1 o'clock. Local still not fantastic. Locally to Lasham quite low. If we're working our way out here, we're already up to 2,000 meters. And that continues to improve out towards Wales, where we're seeing potentially it's at 2,900, up to 3,000 meters, which is very good indeed. 8 or even 9,000 foot cloud bases out to the northwest. Still, during that, relatively poor locally, up to 15 to 1,600 meters, so still 3 or 4,000 feet, possibly even slightly more, but really the good weather with the cumulus out to the northwest. That's continuing through much of the day before starting to shut down. They're still up to 1,900 meters at 7 p.m. and then bluing out for the rest of the day. So very, very good outlook if you get out of the Lasham area. So no Tams, nothing locally to concern us. We've always got a Fairford TMZ to be wary of, and some comps up at Shellington. There's also a lot of paragliding out on central and south Wales for a lot of these, the 50s over on the left-hand side here. If everyone is chancing up this way, just be aware that it's just north of me up here at Slate. There are air displays later on today and mass arrivals from about 10 o'clock onwards. We'll move on now to the glider bookings. We're looking at still 2 K21s for 5-day courses and a K21 on booked instructional flying. There's another 21 on the casual list and a K13 assigned to trial lessons. We do have some single seater availability, so by all means come along and we can do some cross-country flying today. And we've got 4 on the casual list with no instructors. So if there are any instructors not flying or at loose end, the help would be greatly appreciated. Nothing expected with regards to movements at this time. And in summary, we've got a relatively dominant high pressure, albeit fairly weak, with the blue thermals locally and Q to the northwest. And there's a possibility we might see a little bit of that cumulus here, but certainly better area looking to be in that general direction. Cloud base is potentially very high, so do be very careful of airspace. And we're expecting a gentle easterly flow, and therefore operating runway 09 with cables on the south side. Once again, caution for the very high temperatures. Do look after yourselves and do not land or taxi across the disused runways shown here in red. Here's our airfield setup to finish winching from the south side of the runway. There to club or heavy gliders north of the centre line on the runway. Grid in its usual place in the top corner here, just this side of the 1.6 threshold. Don't allow the grid to creep forwards given the temperature. Okay, the climb performance of the tugs will be limited, so we want as much room as possible. It may be a case that we have to either compress the grid or move everybody forwards halfway through. Self-launches, queue behind the launch point on the runway. Call up for start and taxi. That's all for me this morning. I'll see you out there. Please keep yourselves safe today in the heat and with the volume of traffic and enjoy. Thanks very much.